Hi, I'm Steve Lantvit and welcome to Sure in the Saddle. On this episode, we're joined with Dr. Brian Biggers and we've got Wrigley here now. Doc, how are you?
Good, thanks.
All right, Dr. Biggers is here and we're gonna go ahead and start to do some acupuncture on Wrigley. Now, Wrigley had a little bit of an accident. She's injured herself and we've chosen to use acupuncture as one of the ways, along with Equinety, to treat her and help her in her recovery. So Doc, why don't you explain a little bit about the benefits of acupuncture?
Well, one of the reasons why we use acupuncture is we are trying to decrease some pain, get the body to function better. When we do acupuncture, the specific area of acupuncture that I do is called traditional Chinese veterinary medicine. And we do an exam on the animal to decide what excesses or deficits that the horse might have, where the pain issues are. Sometimes the owner has an idea where the pain is, and actually when we scan the horse, we might find that the pain is actually somewhere else. Maybe the source of the problem is somewhere else. And so then we'll do the acupuncture and we'll use needles. There's other forms of acupuncture that we like to use too. We'll use dry needle. We use aquapuncture, where we actually inject something into it like B12 or some blood. There's electrical acupuncture, where we actually hook up some electrodes to specific acupuncture needles that are already in the horse. We can use laser. Laser is a great way to use on points that are difficult, that are maybe painful for the horse. And another one that we can use is Moxibustion.
Moxibustion?
Moxibustion. I know. What's neat about it is you're actually igniting a plant material. It's hemp. It's like a hemp, and you're putting it over an acupuncture point, and you're stimulating it with heat. And the last one I like to use is Hema Puncture, where we actually put a needle, a hypodermic needle, into an area of the horse in order to get rid of some excess, get rid of some blood, get rid of some heat that might be in that area, and it just lets it drain out that way.
Well, a little background on Wrigley is Wrigley's been injured about 6 months ago or so. You saw her right away. Would you stop it? You saw her right away. We've had several different vets look at her. We've taken x-rays. There's nothing that's ever been definitive of exactly what's wrong. But we all know that something's really got wrong. So she's been out. We had and the progress that we've made, because at the beginning she was pretty much three-legged lame, and we went from three-legged lame to now we're running around the pasture. And I want to say probably back 4 months ago is when we started doing the acupuncture. We had her on Equinety about 4 months. The progress we made in the first 2 months was sort of slow. As soon as we started to do the Equinety, as soon as we started to do the acupuncture, she just, I mean, we're talking making a turn like you wouldn't believe. And progress was being made, not, you know, I mean, it was like week by week, almost daily you saw an improvement. So on her, why don't you go ahead and do the exam and sort of just talk us through what you normally would do.
Okay. So first thing I do with an exam is I start looking at the mouth. And I look at the mouth, and I'm actually I'm going to try and look at her tongue. That's what I kind of want a quick look at it. And when I look at her tongue, what I'm looking for is the color of her tongue, whether it's pink, or if it's pale, or if it's red, or purple, or black, or gray. I'm looking for coating on her tongue. I'm looking for whether it's dry or wet, or if it's normal. And for her, it's kind of a palish pink, and it's kind of dry in there. So it's kind of a pale pink, which for me, if I was just going to look at that alone, I'd probably say that she probably has a Qi deficiency.
Okay. Now explain what Qi is.
Qi is the energy that runs through their body along the meridians. They have 14 meridians and 14 main meridians. And the Qi is the energy that makes things go within the body. And so if you don't have Qi, you're not alive.
I got you. I got Qi.
You got Qi. You're a dude that has plenty of chi. Her body is actually kind of warm. We're on a cold day here in Indiana, and her body is actually pretty warm. And so maybe kind of normal. Her ears are normal there. Her pulse is a little weaker on the right side, so I'm going to go with she does have a bit of a chi deficiency within her body. One of the things too is we noticed that she's lost a lot of weight here, a lot of muscle mass here. Yes. She looks kind of normal here. She's a little bit thin, but she's really thin here and really thin on the other side. And all of that is because of the damage that she's done to her skeletal system and just trying to deal with the pain and things. So what I would suggest is just go ahead and put some needles in her and see how she does.
Now, do you chiropractically adjust them before or after?
Yes. So I usually like to adjust them before. And if you view this horse from the back, as she's tried to compensate for this injury that's here in this right hip, she's actually got kind of a crooked back.
Yes.
And so I do like to adjust those before we start. I'm going to go ahead and do a quick Cairo exam on her, and you can see how sore she is. So I'm working on these thoracic vertebrae, and that's all I've really worked on so far. And those, I don't have any pain there. I still got a bit of a pain, some pain here, some pain here. Okay. Now the scan with this traditional Chinese veterinary medicine is we're using something. I use a needle cap, and I'm going to be going over the meridians and the acupuncture points and the areas that she is sore, that she reacts to. We make a note of that, and then we decide where her issues are. Okay, so first I go in an area where she really doesn't have anything going on, and so then I start looking in. Okay, so that's a little reactive right there, and I would kind of expect that to be reactive because that's reactive. That tells me that her back leg is sore. Her opposite back leg is sore.
So each of these locations that you're pushing tell a specific body point.
Yeah, so this one here tells me that her opposite back leg is sore.
Okay.
Which we know it is. Wasn't like that was a big
surprise, because that's where the injury is.
Right.
Hind right hip. And how much pressure are you applying?
About this much.
That much? Okay. Couple
I mean, it's significant. It's not like I'm just.
You're not tickling her. No.
But I'm not also, digging into her either. And it's, some horses are more stoic than others. Some horses are a lot more painful than others. So there's some pain right there.
Right. Whoop. We got something.
Right.
Yep.
Not horrible there.
That's your good hip.
Right. This side, this is where her injury's at. It's right here. Okay, so she's compensating on the other side with her hip and her stifle and her hock. That's what the scan tells me. And over here, her actual injury is right there, and that seems to be the sorest thing over here. So we're going to put some needles in that are specific for our injury and the areas that we have some soreness. And then we're going to put some needles in that will treat bone issues, a needle that goes in and treats tendon issues, needles that will help with her chi deficiency, and we'll see how she does.
Okay.
The leader in cell repair.
We're so excited to be part of Team Equinety. We've started using Equinety here at Highgrove and have been blown away at the results. What does Equinety target?
Specifically, what it's going to help with is faster recovery, more stamina, and better focus.
Use Equinety. Start healing your horses from the inside out at a cellular level.
Equinety is not a miracle supplement, but it sure does some miraculous things.
Share with us your Equinety story at teamequinety.com.
So this first one I'm going to put in here is in the back of her spine, and it's more of a permission point, but it also works to help pain in the back legs. This is a 4-inch needle. This is another one for the back end.
Now this is harder going in, isn't it?
Yeah. Generally. Sometimes if they bend, they're hard to get out.
Okay. Now, her demeanor has already changed just with the first couple needles in there.
I saw that.
She dropped her head.
Yeah.
And it's funny, the first time we did it, I knew this was going to work because when we put in that first needle, that permission needle,
right.
That first time, she wasn't giving us permission right away. That was almost a no-go.
Almost new.
But her demeanor changed after you started the treatment. Now, what meridians are you working on now?
That's the bladder meridian right there.
Okay.
This is a traditional Chinese medicine point or acupuncture point. This is also bladder meridian. This is the stomach meridian that I'm going to put one in here. This is another traditional Chinese veterinary spot for the back end. You can see that she's reacting a little bit.
Yes.
Okay. We just kind of wait. That's called the Di Qi. That's the arrival of the Qi. And then we get through the hard stuff and then it goes in.
So what is that hard stuff? There's just the muscle so tight?
Muscle so tight, it's just, it's really, really tense. It's almost like going through a piece of rubber.
Okay.
So Di Qi is what we call, it's the response, but it's also, sometimes you'll have, the Qi is going through the meridian. It's going in, kind of goes in a circular pattern. It just keeps going and going and going. And sometimes you'll have areas where there's stagnation. Wherever there's stagnation, there's pain.
Okay.
So then she's obviously got pain because we did the scan on her.
Right.
Because she didn't walk right. So we know that there's stagnation there, and so and it's the stagnation of the Qi. And so when we go and we put the needle in, it releases that area of stagnation and allows the Qi to move on through and start going through the meridian again. And so the idea with that is sometimes you put the needle in and it's such a huge release of the Qi that it's painful.
Okay. I mean, if you look at her, I'm not even holding her now. She's just standing there. And there's no sedative or anything. So this is what you're seeing is actually the horse starting to, the pain is going away.
Right. She feels good, and you can actually see. So
her spine is relaxed. You can see that.
But you can also see muscles twitching on this other side.
Okay.
It's responding. That's also called Di Qi. Right here, see it?
Yeah, I see it. We're joined here with John from Equinety. How are you, sir?
Great, Steve.
John and I started this relationship and went down this path because we had a horse here that was injured, and I wanted to afford this horse every opportunity to heal correctly and give her the best footing to go forward. Well, we've gone from there, and you know something, Equinety is one of those products that it works so great in that situation that as I'm driving around the feed cart, I'm like, I'm gonna go ahead and try on this one. Well, we went from trying on one to try it on 2, to try it on 3. Now I'm actually trying to figure out why I can't use Equinety more than what I can use Equinety for. So for me, I look at it as an overall horse wellness like additive. Explain why that is.
Well, one of the great things with Equinety is it's giving the body what it needs to help heal at a cellular level. So even for horses that seem to be in the tip-top shape, they don't really have any issues going on, you're giving the body what it needs to help keep the cells working at their optimal level. So now we're getting into preventative type things. So that's why it's working so well. You're keeping those cells working at their optimal level.
I put Shizzle on. It was probably the second horse here. He's 7 years old, and it's one of those things that in my training philosophy, I'm not trying to just peak out at a young age and then he's going to go stand off and breed and be a breeding sire. I want to be able to know that I can pull him out at 15 and go do an expo in 7 years, or at 20 and say, hey, this is the horse that we started, 17 years ago, and look at the things that he does and he can still do. So I look at Equinety as sort of like that miracle additive that's going to extend his career. What's that saying that you say about Equinety?
It's not a miracle supplement, but it sure does some miraculous things.
If you want to provide the best addition to a feeding program and give your horse that advantage to have a longer performance life, if you want to ward off, arthritis, and if you want to make sure that you're doing everything possible as a preventative, Equinety is a supplement for you. So go to teamequinety.com and order yours today. Now what's so funny is I'm not holding her right now, she's just ground tied. So you could literally see the horse just starting to relax and saying, thank you for helping me.
Going to hook her up to the wires so we can do some electrical acupuncture on her.
And the purpose of doing that is what? What does the electricity do?
It helps the acupuncture last longer.
Okay.
We get a better response. Got some data out now that says with electrical acupuncture that we can stimulate stem cells, the horse's own stem cells. So, in areas where we've got, problems in like a joint or spine, we can go ahead and hit them with this, and it helps to heal it a lot faster.
What's amazing is when we started to do this with Wrigley, we were doing this on a weekly, actually it was a couple times a week at the beginning. First couple weeks was every couple days. And then we went from every couple days to once a week, then once every 2 weeks, and now we're about once a month now.
So I've got the electrical hooked up and I'm starting to turn it up. I'm waiting for like a response with the needles. Like you can see I'm starting to shake right here. So that's what I'm looking for, and then I stop.
Once you get a reaction.
Right. I've got these going here.
Yeah, look at that peach one back there. When we had the situation with Wrigley and she injured herself, we were trying to come up with a plan of attack, a way to help her and keep her comfortable. We really weren't exactly sure if this was just strictly bone or we had some soft tissue damage, but we knew that she was responding, she was recovering once we actually started putting the acupuncture on, and we got on board with Equinety. Her healing just sort of went through the roof. When I feed her in the morning, we kick her out to pasture, she does one like a victory lap around the pasture. And when we first started, we were impressed if she could walk from here to the hitching post.
Right. And so I think one of the things I first asked you when we first started treating Wrigley was, what are your expectations? What would you like to have happen? And because initially, before she got injured, she was to be a performance horse. She was supposed to be able to ridden, go here and there and do it all, and you look good on her. And so, but when she got the injury, it was what are your realistic expectations of her? And what I got from you was, could she just be a pasture pet, comfortable out in the pasture? Could it possibly be that maybe at some point Could we breed her?
Right.
Things like that.
We were trying to do the best by the horse
Yes.
and provide for her when she was uncomfortable during her healing process.
Right. And so I think at this point, what we've done is we've made her where she is extremely happy out in the pasture,
Yeah.
being able to do the laps, go out there. She loves going out to the pasture. And then at some point we may address, are we going to be able to breed her? Is she
Right.
going to have a good reproductive bone set up in there to be able to
Because something's not still right.
Are we going to? Is she? It may not be an issue for her to be able to conceive, but it might be an issue for her to be able to deliver a foal.
All right, okay. So Doc, I appreciate you.
Glad to do it.
All right, thanks again. I'm Steve Lantvit, and thanks for watching Sure in the Saddle. If you guys want to improve your horsemanship or get up to date on any new techniques, shoot us an email or call us here at the farm. Don't forget to like us on Facebook, and hopefully we'll see you at an expo or clinic down the road. I'm Steve Lantvit. Thanks for watching us on RFDTV.